SML has been on YouTube for almost 20 years at this point, and with that comes a lot of wear and tear on the puppets, and it's safe to say some are getting really worn out as of 2026. So today, we're gonna be going over all of them, starting off with Logan's most prized possession for SML and his rarest puppet, which is none other than Jeffy. As of recently, many fans have started to notice that Jeffy looks very different compared to how he did when he got introduced back in 2016. And along with this, fans have been also pointing out the possible wear and tear on the puppet. Why has Jeffy's face changed so much over the years? He used to be kinda chubby and had a bigger nose in 2016, but now he seems to be a bit worn out, and his nose looks smaller. Just got worn out more and more. Used way too much. Chubby Jeffy was a lot more cute in my opinion. Now, this is only part of the wear and tear, as the fans were most likely right, as Jeffy does look much more stretched out and overall bigger than in 2016. Which was definitely caused due to the heavy usage, even though Logan protects this as if it's the official Mona Lisa. But at the end of the day, we have to remember that Logan protects this puppet so much due to the fact that it can't be 100% replicated.
It always comes across my mind of what are we gonna do if something happens to the original Jeffy. He's put in a safe every time he's not being filmed with because we don't have anywhere to, we don't want him to risk, getting destroyed.
So wear and tear like this isn't good, which honestly should be a wake-up call for Logan to start trying to get a one-to-one replica of the puppet. Along with this, fans have also started noticing that Jeffy might have actual cuts on his puppet, which obviously could still be a rumor. However, back in April, there was a period where we wouldn't see Jeffy appear that much, and in the videos he did appear in, we would see him be in some sort of costume, which led fans to believe that Jeffy had a major hole, specifically around his neck. You might be right. It looks like the puppet has a major cut or hole. Now, that picture of Jeffy with the hole is really stupid, as it's obviously just the strap of his helmet. However, as of June 2026, we can no longer see this hole on Jeffy, and he no longer wears costumes or any sort of coverage. But overall, Logan has started clearly being way more careful with Jeffy, as nowadays he doesn't really do much besides accompany Marvin on the couch, and no longer does anything too crazy that could ruin the puppet. Now, Jeffy clearly is at high risk of becoming really worn out. However, Chef Peepee on the other hand has no more chances, as his puppet is just done at this point. As we all know, Chef Peepee would get introduced to SML all the way back in 2011, and in his debut video, which was SML movie Koopa's New Job, the puppet would basically look brand new, with a nice clean white chef shirt and a completely clean face and body.
Stay in there, good kitty. Yes, got soup. No employee. Oh yes, come in. Have fun.
Now, what if I told you that they are still using this puppet to this day? And yes, I am not joking. As of filming this video, Logan is still using this Chef Peepee puppet. And let's just say it has been through straight hell, with his eyes decaying and being peeled off. We can see this really well in SML movie Chef Peepee Quits Part 7, which, by the way, Logan would finish the series 11 years later using the same puppet, which just proves my point even more. Anyways, fans would point out on Reddit that his eyes just look done. Bro's nose is falling off. Bro isn't a young spring sapling no more. Clearly, we can see from these pictures that Chef Peepee has genuinely gone through it. However, that's not even it, as this puppet has a literal 4-leaf clover tattoo on it, which is just ridiculous.
Look, I got a tattoo of a 4-leaf clover on my ass cheek, so you can never pinch me.
And if you've paid even closer attention to the clip I just showed you, you can notice that Chef Peepee's left arm looks different from the top. And that's because the arm has been sewed back together multiple times, and it's gotten cut off way too many times. So by now, you may be wondering why Logan hasn't replicated this puppet when he did it with Brooklyn Guy. Well, he actually did. In SML movie Flesh Eating Bacteria, we would see Logan finally try to attempt to change the Chef Peepee puppet, and honestly, it looked amazing. And didn't look crappy like the Amazon ones that everybody gets. However, the reason why Logan didn't stick with the puppet is because fans just didn't like it. How did fans complain about Chef Peepee when he looks 95% accurate, but not how ugly the new Junior, Joseph, and Cody puppets are? People complained, and Logan decided to be weak. Now, in my opinion, Logan should not have listened to the fans, as this puppet didn't even look bad, and was definitely his most accurate option. And at the end of the day, everyone who did hate the new puppet were most likely little kids, and of course, your typical 30-year-old angry SML reviewers, as anyone over the age of 12 shouldn't complain about a puppet replacement as long as it looks good. And this change was so forgettable to the point where fans think it didn't even happen yet, and they are still requesting a change to this day. Give this boy the SMG4 treatment and redesign him. Clearly, we can assume that very soon, the original Chef Peepee will crumble, and Logan will forcefully have to return to the new one. However, believe it or not, a new puppet that has actually already been replaced and is already going through new wear and tear is Brooklyn Guy. Now, we would see this Brooklyn Guy puppet be introduced back in 2024 in SML movie Brooklyn Guy's Makeover, and overall, this puppet looked way better than the old one, so clearly this was a huge upgrade. And before we move on to his new wear and tear, let's briefly cover why he's been replaced in the first place. Now, the reason why he was replaced is not because he looked insanely worn out like Chef Peepee, but rather because of his bald spot. Yes, I'm not even joking. The old Brooklyn Guy had a huge bald spot on his head. And no, it wasn't because he was actually balding. It was actually due to the cop hat that he would wear. Now, the way this was caused was due to the fact that Logan would use double-sided tape to tape his hat every time he was a cop. So eventually, the tape would progressively pull off hair in that area, which led to that huge bald spot. And unfortunately, as of 2026, this bald spot is slowly returning for the same reason, as Logan basically has no other way of attaching the hat on his head. We can see this in SML movie Joseph Gets Hantavirus. Clearly, this detail shows how quick these puppets wear and tear, which actually leads us into the possible puppets that we can see get wear and tear in the near future. Now, these puppets are sole theories, and I'm simply basing them off of how old the puppet is, and if it already has some signs of wear and tear. Starting off with one puppet that has been used for ages, and at this point is damn near impossible to replace, and that's none other than Jackie Chu. Now, Jackie Chu has been used ever since 2014, with his first appearance being in SML movie Bowser Jr.'s Cell Phone, and throughout the years, Jackie Chu has actually been in pretty good condition. However, it has seen some minor wear and tear, primarily related to his crown. Now, as we all know, Jackie Chu would always have a crown on top of his head, most likely related to his Chinese tradition. However, out of nowhere, back in 2023, in SML movie The Broken Crown, we would see Jackie Chu's crown break.
How'd you break your crown?
Well, me and my son named Tu were running errands, and there was an accident.
Now, this was definitely tragic. However, the real reason as to why his crown broke is actually unknown. However, in the behind the scenes of the video, we would get confirmation that the crew struggled to put Jackie Chu's crown back on, which is ultimately why we never see it on him to this day.
There's been a few of you that have noticed that it's been broken in previous videos, and we keep trying to fix it, but no amount of glue, super glue, hot glue, fabric glue, wood glue, anything that we've tried using won't keep it together. So what we decided to do is finally just cut it off and then film a video that he broke it, and then he ends up getting the money for it and everything like that. So anyway.
Clearly, this was a pretty major piece of the wear and tear to the puppet, as it was clearly noticeable that it was gone at the time. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if this puppet sees more wear and tear in the near future. And I could confidently say this for Mr. Goodman too, as unlike Jackie Chu, the Mr. Goodman puppet has been around since the beginning of SML, around 2008. Now, this Mr. Goodman puppet has never truly been through any wear and tear, as he's never really in any sort of insane situations, and is just your typical rich scumbag who doesn't do much. However, just like real people, age affects everything, which obviously meant that this puppet is bound to also see some sort of wear and tear in the future, from rips on the puppet to his eyes possibly fading away. However, at the end of the day, the Goodman puppet is made by Sunny Puppets, and from what we've seen, these puppets are actually a bit better quality than Melissa and Doug, which is the company that makes the Chef Peepee and Brooklyn Guy puppets. Clearly, every SML puppet, besides the more recent SML puppets, are having the causes of old age really get to them, and who knows how many other replacements we'll see in the future. But if you enjoyed this video, make sure to click the one on screen. I'm sure you'll love it.